Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Stuff Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars. My name is Colin,
I'm Ray.
and we're here to talk about.
Justin Bieber?
No, we will not talk about how he was not in the Super Bowl halftime show. We will not do that. Absolutely not.
I didn't even watch the Super Bowl.
I mean, I didn't either. The only thing, because I was working, and then I remember getting a notification for the Deadpool 3 trailer, and that was like the most exciting thing about the night. But other than that, it was just sports.
Yay, sports.
Yay, sports ball. Woohoo.
Goal. I don't know, sports.
Oh yeah, Star Wars. That's why we're
Oh.
So couple of great things that have happened. One big thing announcement, which I know a lot of people are excited about, is that the prequel. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's called The Phantom Menace. It's coming back to theaters on May 3rd.
Time to break out the croissant.
The croissant.
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 Oh.
And you've got Andor, which has wrapped up filming, and then you have Ben Mendelsohn has kind of. Well, I mean, again, I take these things with a grain of salt. Of when an actor says, "Oh, I've not been approached" or anything like that, but he's saying he has not been approached to come back as director Krenic for Andor. And in my mind, I'm like, well, that's exactly what Ewan said. That's exactly what Hayden said. That's what a lot of people have said. And then sure enough, we turn on our screens to a certain episode and there they are. So I don't know. I think he's going to be in it. It would not make sense not to have him in the show because it's all leading up to Rogue One. So you also have the project, Stardust, that is in the process of being, created, throughout the entire show. And then at the end, you've got the after credit scene, which we got an after credit scene in Andor, which is kind of crazy. But it's basically hinting at that we're getting close to the events of Rogue One. So to me, it makes sense to have him in the show. But then you have Sam Jackson confirming that Mace Windu is not dead. How do we feel about that?
It just continues to prove my theory correct. Falling in Star Wars does not mean you die.
Yeah, but he's force sensitive.
Boba Fett.
He's got plot armor.
Phasma has armor.
Yeah, but she fell in space. There's a difference between a Sarlacc's stomach and space.
Technically.
And if you bring up Leia flying in space in The Last Jedi, I'm going to walk out of this room.
No.
Okay.
Technically, everything is in space.
Ugh.
Logic your way out of that one.
Of what you say is true.
Oh my gosh.
Not the hat. Yeah. And man, yeah. So the other great thing is that Acoltye also has a hinted release date of this summer, which kind of makes sense. If it happens on May 4th weekend, I wouldn't complain. I don't think anyone would. I don't think so.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. Yeah. And then Bad Batch comes out next week. First 3 episodes. I'm excited but terrified at the same time.
How long is the season?
13 episodes? I'll double check.
Okay. Because I feel like 3 is a lot to drop on the first day.
Well, the last couple episodes will be debuting on May 1st.
Oh.
So, hang on. Bad Batch.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense. Although I don't know why you wouldn't release it earlier to do one a week.
They're doing 15 episodes.
Oh.
So on February 21st, you've got episode 1, 2, and 3 of season 3. And then February 28th, episode 4, March 6th, episode 5, March 13th, episode 6 and 7, March 8th. March 20th, you've got episode 8. Episode 9 is on March 27th. And then April 3rd, season 3, episode 10 and 11. And then April 10th, 17th, and 24th is 12, 13, 14. And then the final episode is on May 1st.
Wow, so they're doing 2 days of 3 episode drops.
one day of 3 episodes drops, and then 2 days of 2 episode drops.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah. So if you haven't, I would catch up on that. But yeah, oh man, there's a lot of great things on the horizon. Let's talk about Andor season 2 is wrapped up.
Yes.
Expectations for the show for the final season. I'm hoping that Kino Loy will show up.
I haven't seen it. I watched like the first 2 episodes. It didn't catch me, and I didn't return back to it. Bye. Have a nice day.
You haven't seen it?
No.
It has some of the best dialogue and monologues in Star Wars. It's amazing.
I know I'm probably going to return to it, but it's also something that I don't have a whole lot of time to like sit down and watch something.
Wow.
And I want to watch it, not just listen to it. Cause like I tried listening to the first episode and I was just not getting pulled in enough. And so I feel like I got to watch it.
All right. So here's the thing about Andor is that when I first watched the first 3 episodes, I was kind of taken back for a second, meaning that I really had a lot of mixed feelings about it because it didn't have that traditional Star Wars feel.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and you're like, this feels like a show that belongs on HBO Max. Like it didn't feel like a Star Wars at first. I watched it again and then I got it. I understood it. And this is probably one of the darker takes on Star Wars, which is totally fine and it makes sense because you have to think this is happening during the prime of the Empire, pretty much, to where the Empire has really taken over the galaxy. Hope barely exists, and you've got these future Rebel Alliance leaders that are trying to organize and put things together, kind of like in the show Star Wars Rebels, except that's more of a lighter take on the whole galaxy being run by the Empire. But I then got to episode, I think 5 and 6, to where we see more of the citizens of the galaxy rising up. And you've got Kino Loy played by Andy Serkis, and he is one of the best. Again, there's so many great characters and so many great dialogues in that where I'm just like, this is amazing. And I get goosebumps every time I watch the Narkina prison scenes because you have this man that is thinking he's going to escape, but then he doesn't. And I won't get into much detail because I don't want to spoil it for you.
I will forget by the time I get to watching it. I promise you. It happens all the time.
But Andy Serkis just did a phenomenal job. And I know a lot of people were saying, well, this is like the origin story of how Andy Serkis becomes Snoke. And I'm like, no. So I am super pumped to see what they do. And Andy Serkis low key confirmed that he is going to be in season 2. But his character of where he's given the speech, of saying like one way out, like all that stuff was just fantastic. It was phenomenal. And you've got the character Luthen, who just does a great job as well. Again, so many great characters, so many great stories. I can't see what season 2 has to offer, and we know that it leads directly into Rogue One. So my predictions is that Kino Loy will return. We'll get some type of Galen Erso, Jyn Erso Easter egg, and then we'll also get some more insight of how K2SO and Cassian met, because that was one great thing about Rogue One was K2SO.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see him return to the screen. And then the more of the origin of the Rebel Alliance, because there will be time jumps in the show where you are going to be very excited, confused, and just drawn in and probably sad at some points because some of these characters you don't even see in Rogue One. So I have a feeling that maybe some of them don't make it. But I'm excited. It's going to be great. I think there might be some Rebel Easter eggs in there. I would be shocked if Hera Syndulla didn't make a small cameo. And I know they were trying to stay away from that kind of stuff just because they really wanted to kind of make it feel grounded to where it's Star Wars, but it's not like directly connected. Because if you look back at Rogue One, it was still, it was still Star Wars, but it didn't have to hold on to the grip of Darth Vader being like, Darth Vader's in this. This is his story.
Yeah.
This is like, and it did just a beautiful job of just explaining like, this is what's happening to the other side of the galaxy.
Yeah. I really liked with Rogue One how it told a story parallel to like the main storyline.
Yes.
And it like fills in little gaps.
Right.
I wish like that's something that like we could do more of.
Yeah.
Is get like stories that are parallel to the action. So like it'll like, because it had like little cutaways to Vader. So like you still know what's going on with the main timeline.
Yeah.
But it's more just to put you in that frame of reference for where you're at. Because I mean, it could have been happening anywhere in the span of Vader, but it wanted to plug you in to right where it was going to leave off.
And yes, this scene where Darth Vader has his, his iconic hallway scene was fantastic, but I don't think that's the main thing that people walked away from.
I will never get over that scene because
it was phenomenal.
Yes, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
When he arrives, you don't hear him.
Yeah.
He had to turn off his breathing to make the dramatic entrance.
Well, I mean, it's Anakin.
I know.
So yeah.
He's the drama.
Yeah. So
he's always been the drama.
Oh man, I just feel like he like had music like playing in his helmet. Like he's like, okay, I'm gonna choose this song. All right, here we go. And then
that was Padme's influence really shining through in that moment.
Yeah, no, that was just fantastic, and the whole scene was just a real treat. But that whole film was a real treat. So, and I loved how Tony Gilroy has found that fine line of here's Star Wars, but also it's going to be its own thing. Yeah, I think they've done it in such a beautiful way. But yeah, no, I love the first season. You've got to watch it.
I do want to watch it. I think also being like the winter, everything's just kind of sad. So I don't want to watch anything like sad or serious. I've been watching like, because like when I'm working on sewing projects, I usually have true crime documentaries running in the background.
Yeah.
And I can't do true crime right now. I've been listening to comedy specials on a loop.
Okay.
So I think once we get back into the naturally occurring serotonin, or whatever chemicals are, I don't know, mine are store-bought, that I'll be able to watch something that's not Barbie Life in the Dream House.
Fair enough. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So we've got that, and then we have Acolyte, supposedly coming out this summer. I'm excited for that. If you haven't read the High Republic books, check them out. I am so excited for it.
It's kind of interesting that, like, if it's going to come out this summer, that we've heard and seen nothing.
Well, I've seen something.
Yes, but that was just to the Celebration audience.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that. I had small hopes for the Super Bowl. Very small hopes for the Super Bowl. I didn't think it was going to happen, but a part of me was like, please just do it. But I know they're trying to focus, and I know Bob Iger said this specifically for Marvel, but I think they're trying to do this for Star Wars too, where they're trying to focus on their main big titles. And I think they really, really, really need Acolyte to succeed. So they're doing everything in their power to make sure it does. And then we still haven't heard anything of when Skeleton Crew is officially coming out. So it's just a matter of time. It's happening this year. We just don't know when. But I'm definitely excited for that. So
because Skeleton Crew is next year, right?
It could be this year. It could happen at the end of this year.
Okay. And like we know stuff about Skeleton Crew.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But we don't know anything about Acolyte.
I mean, we know the timeline, we know the cast. If you really, really want to kind of brush up on that, I would definitely look into sorry, there's a
Pause for helicopter.
It's a transport. Don't kill the illusion.
Pause for helicopter. Pause for space helicopter.
Space helicopter. Canon? No? Okay.
Yes.
All right. But yeah, no. So we know that it's like of the cast, of the time period, and that the Nihil is probably kind of still like the main villains in it, but also this is going to be at the end of the High Republic era, so that means that we're going to slowly maybe lead into the era of Darth Plagueis and all that fun stuff, and to see the fall of the Jedi, where they're peacekeepers and become pawns and soldiers of the Senate, because that's exactly what's happening in the prequels. The Jedi are soldiers now, and they're just doing really whatever the Senate tells them to do. And you see more of that in the first season of Tales of the Jedi, which is also coming out this year, the second season of it. So there's a lot of exciting things happening with that show, and I'm really excited. And if you really want to get more into that, definitely read or listen to the High Republic novels on Audible, because they're fantastic. And then also for us, we actually have the opportunity of doing more reviews from the comics that are coming out of the High Republic, and then also different Star Wars comics, because we have teamed up with Lang's comic book shop over in Muskegon. So there will definitely be more reviews on that. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for Acolyte.
I didn't know that last bit.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The more you know. And then we got Sam Jackson, and he's like, listen, Mace Windu is not dead. And I'm like, okay. But I really think he's just pitching to do a Mace Windu show. I don't know how I would feel at this point. He's 71. I think I saw he's 71.
Let me give it a goog.
Yeah.
You talk about the show, I'll give it a goog.
Well, I mean, I don't. Honestly, to me, the way that show would work is if the show led up to maybe flashbacks of Mace Windu like surviving after the events of Revenge of the Sith, and then it led up to present day during the timeline of the Mandalorian, and then he goes to Tatooine, because maybe he finally learns of Luke Skywalker and he's trying to track down Luke Skywalker, and then maybe he's about to like finally, like, to us it seems like, oh, he's about to finally meet Luke Skywalker, the son of Anakin, and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden you have Boba Fett that just pops up out of nowhere, and that brings back so many memories, and you just see his really angry face, and he tries to kill Mace Windu, and then it ends up being like a relationship between Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes and the Winter Soldier, and then they just kind of like team up, like in a way, and they're like frenemies, and it's like, you kill my dad, but I forgive you, like that kind of thing.
He's 75.
75. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's anything is possible.
Yeah.
You can do the deep fake technology.
You have to have Boba Fett in there in some way because of their stories crossover. Like they have to cross over in some way, because Boba tried to kill him in the Clone Wars, and he didn't succeed. And then you have Mace Windu die by
falling. He died.
Yeah.
You can't see the quotation marks.
Well, wait. So, okay, how about this? All right. He gets thrown out the window, right? It's not just the Emperor that causes this and does this to him. It's also Anakin, because Anakin cuts off his arm. So maybe Mace Windu is like, I have lost faith in the Jedi. I'm no longer a Jedi or whatever. And then he just kind of wants revenge. But then after he finds out the fate of Darth Vader and the Emperor, he's like, okay, I don't know what to do. And then years later, he finds out that Anakin has a son. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to try and kill Luke Skywalker. So he goes and tracks down Luke Skywalker. And then as he's about to do it, he ends up running into Boba Fett on his journey. And then that's when the whole frenemy things happen, and then that kind of brings Mace Windu back of seeing like I killed this guy's dad, and if Boba is willing to forgive me, then I can forgive Anakin.
Can we get Fennec Shannon there?
Oh well, yeah, of course. Yeah,
I just want her sarcastically commenting in the background.
Which she's coming back in Bad Batch season 3, including Cad Bane, which I'm also hoping that Boba Fett will show up in there as well. I'm still blown away that Asajj Ventress is showing up. How cool would it be if TC Carson comes back and voices Mace Windu for the Bad Batch, and we see him in there? Again, I know that's kind of pushing it, but still, you never know, like, of what could happen in Star Wars, of who could walk around the corner. But yeah, I am
including somebody who fell to their death.
I mean, I guess Max Rebo kind of fell to. I mean, he didn't fall to his death, but
he was in a sail barge that was technically floating, so he probably fell after it exploded.
So, in the Certain Point of View novel from Return of the Jedi, it does explain that he did get launched from the sail barge.
Yeah, so he fell.
Yeah,
and he survived. But he was sitting the second time there was an explosion, so I don't know if he fell. He might have fallen off his chair.
We don't know if he was in the building. We did not see a glimpse of blue. I cannot. I'm doing this since Boba Fett.
I was saying,
jeez,
when you fall, you don't always die.
Correct.
We don't know if he fell or not. He could have fallen off his chair, and if he fell, he probably didn't die.
Well, he wasn't in the building though when it blew up.
But imagine if he survived 2 explosions. How cool would that be?
Well, he did survive another explosion because he wasn't there. Of what I'm saying is true. Say it with me.
No, I think it would just be super metal if he survived 2 explosions.
It's Max Rebo. You can't kill Max Rebo. His legacy will live on.
He's hardcore. Rock and roll. Now I need fan art of Max Rebo with like tattoos and piercings and like a spiky mohawk.
My next costume for Mosh Isley ?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I might need to make more Max Rebo fan art.
Yeah.
I already made Renaissance Max Rebo.
I got some. I think I already talked about this, but I got some art from Stax Rebo where it's Max Rebo in a bathtub, and I love it. And they also started a podcast too, talking about the interesting and weird characters of Star Wars. So
I love that.
You guys should definitely check that out because they're fantastic at what they do. So, but yeah, no, I am intrigued of what the Mace Windu show could bring, but we'll see. We'll see.
That's even if they decide to do one.
I mean, Sam Jackson might be. I mean, again, Sam Jackson likes money, and he's an expensive actor to get. So, I think the story has to be very, very well done in order to bring Mace Windu back. I think that would be like the hard pitch for it.
Yeah, because you're starting to play around in timelines, and you gotta make sure you don't make plot holes.
Yeah. And then we have the Phantom Menace coming back to theaters. That's pretty exciting.
I'm just seeing my girl Sabe on the big screen.
Did you see the?
No, I was 3.
I was also 3, and
yes.
I do remember seeing it, and I really don't understand it until I got older.
My first movie in theaters was Tarzan.
Okay.
And apparently they played the audio so loud, like everything was vibrating.
Oh yeah, because Phil Collins goes hard.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recall. That's just what my mom told me.
Yeah, and there's a couple of our friends that are okay. By friends I mean Hunter Smoke. He's going hardcore on his fandom for the Phantom Menace. He is doing a project that involves Jar Jar Binks. We'll just leave it at that.
I think we need a group of people who do characters from the Phantom Menace to get together and do a photo shoot and make a lot of crazy videos.
I want to get the Anakin Skywalker pod racing, like racing helmet is the thing I was thinking about getting. Yeah.
I think it would be fun.
Yep. So that comes out in theaters on May 3rd. And that's the weekend of May 4th. Well, Star Wars Day.
Clearly it's the day before.
Well, yeah.
That's how numbers work.
Really? So I'm very excited to see what other announcements happen that weekend. But I'm very, very excited because the prequels have played a big part of my life as a kid. And I remember watching The Phantom Menace over and over again. Say what you will about it, but I think the prequels mean something different to every generation, because you've got people who went and saw the originals in theaters, when they came out, and then they jumped to the Phantom Menace and they're like, this is completely different. And then you have us, where it's like, that's our Star Wars. That's what.
Yeah, you could say that about any of the trilogies.
Yeah. Because I remember you have the sequels coming in back in 2015, and that's what got you really into the world of Star Wars.
Yep.
And again, Star Wars means something different for everyone. So it's super exciting to kind of relive that because this year marks the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace.
Aww.
Yeah. Which it kind of puts, us as fans, our lives into perspective of how excited we still are to see something like this come back. I can't wait for next year, because next year marks the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Aw, we're old.
I love that's what you're taking from all this. But yeah, no, I am beyond excited for that. And I think we're going to try and get a group to go together. But man, I am pumped for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would probably be sitting there watching it on a big screen with a little notebook, like taking all the minuscule notes of that costume that I may have missed, because I would watch any scene where specifically Sabe's battle decoy costume was on the screen. I watched it frame by frame to get, because there's no references, there's no like resources, there was nothing out there for building that costume. Right. So I had to look at it frame by frame to find every little detail, down to whether or not there was top stitching on the costume.
And that's the beauty of doing projects like that, like of where you don't have that much reference. Now, I will say for a Chewie, there is a lot of references, but it's kind of like of what you're doing with Sabe, because you have to kind of zoom in and you have to see exactly where the gray starts to like, and you have to focus and you got to make sure it's in the right spot. And things look different when it's just sitting there, but when you put it on, like it looks a lot different. So you just have to be like careful on how you do that. But I can't even imagine that for like of sewing and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was, if it wasn't the quarantine times, I definitely would not have been able to complete it as fast as I did.
The quarantine times,
because it was a 14-month project.
Oh wow.
So
there you go.
Yeah. And I documented my entire process on a blog called the royalcroissant.weebly.com.
So speaking of the Phantom Menace, we're both fans of the Phantom Menace, but how well do we know scenes? How well do we know the sounds?
Not well.
Well, we're about to find out, because I got my handy dandy Sounds of Star Wars book that we're gonna try and test each other to see if we know these sounds. So
I'm gonna tell you right now, no, at least for me.
All right. No peeking.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. All right. So basically, this book has all the sounds from the first 6 movies. And the game is we are going to kind of play the sound, and then we have to guess of what that sound belongs to in the scene and stuff like that.
Are we doing just the Phantom Menace?
I'm going to say yes, just because we're excited for the Phantom Menace right now.
Cool. That'll help me not at all.
Okay. All right. Here's the first one. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right.
with the echo,
Yeah.
it makes me think that it's the blasters from when they return to Naboo.
No.
Like towards the middle-ish.
No. Try. You go one more try.
Nah.
They are the B1 battle droid blaster sounds.
Oh.
Yeah. That one might have been a little bit more. Ooh, okay. All right. Here's another one. All right. Ready?
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to do this one because I think that... All right, here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Is that underwater creature with the submarine?
I'm going to give you one more chance.
I'm not going to get it.
Fake fan. This is the sound that of when New Gunray gets the phone call from from Queen Amidala, and she like appears and then he's like, again you have become again you have come ahead of us, Your Highness. Of that scene?
Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't really focus that much on Padme or sounds. It's Sabe, man. Sabe all the way.
All right, fine. All right.
That's why it's really funny when people like will get me art of Queen Amidala, and like I love it, like totally appreciative. But like I got this for you because you do this character, and I'm like, no, I don't. But thank you.
I mean, to me, it just sounds like you're ungrateful. It's fine.
Yep. Totally ungrateful.
All right. I can't see.
Okay. I don't know what this one's gonna sound like. How do you turn it on?
You just press the play button.
Oh, I found it. We're good.
All
okay.
Right.
Oh. Okay.
Pod Racers?
No.
Is it a AAT transport?
No.
Oh shoot! Hang on. Play it one more time. Is it the royal ship landing?
It's a Naboo cruiser. So kind of.
Okay. All right. Next one. Man, sorry guys, I'm failing.
I just like the name of this one. That's why I'm gonna do this one.
Okay. Oh, easy. That's the sound of the Darth Maul probe droid like turning on, and then it goes forward.
But do you know what the sound is called?
Well, I know the scene. I know the...
It's Darth Maul presses buttons.
Great scene.
He presses buttons.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Final ones. Here we go. This is probably one of my favorites, and then I'm gonna tell you the backstory behind this sound. All right. Ready?
Okay. Oh, that's the underwater monster.
Yes, it is. Now, fun fact about this sound is that this is actually Ben Burt's kid being swung around slowly. Well, like they actually did it like fast, but then Ben Burt just slowed down the sound. So it was high pitched, but then they just made it sound like this.
The fact that you would even think to do that, like, oh, we need a monster sound. I'm just going to swing my baby in a circle and see what happens.
Well, he's he's the mastermind behind most of the sounds of Star Wars, so I'm not surprised that he came up with that.
Not something that would ever occur to me.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I saw this on the page. Is that Watto's doorbell?
Oh, you cheated. You cheated. Hang on.
I didn't cheat. I read.
Let's see.
Okay, my first guess was when you have Qui-Gon in his fancy poncho and they're walking around town. But then it sounded more like there might be like engines in the background. So my guess is when they roll up to the pod racing field.
I am gonna give you that answer because these sounds are just a mixture of all different Tatooine crowd scenes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll give that one to you.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. This is the final one for me. I gotta turn that way. There you go. Thank you all for all being in the live stream, by the way. I'm just seeing all the people on. Why did I look? Hang on.
Oh, now we're at Attack of the Clones. Gotta go back. Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite scene in the Phantom Menace besides anything that involves Sabe?
That's hard because I really like Sabe. Okay, probably like one of like the funnier ones to me is when Anakin goes to say goodbye to Padme, and he goes up to Rabe and is like, "I want to say goodbye to Padme," and she's like, "She's not here." And then Padme comes around the corner, "What's up?" And she's like, "This kid wants to say bye to Padme, but she's not here."
All right.
I like that scene. That's funny. She's also the only other handmaiden that has lines.
All right, hit me up with the sound.
I'm trying to. Okay, I don't even know. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. It was not turning on. It might need new batteries. Okay.
Darth Maul speeder bike?
No.
Something to do with Coruscant?
No.
Oh shoot! It's not a pod racer. Can
yes.
you play the sound? Wait, it's a pod racer?
No, I was. Yes, I can play it again. Oh.
That is a stap.
Stap flyby.
Yes.
I thought it would be stop.
No, step.
Stop.
Stop. Stop. Just stop. Well, there you go. We would like to thank everyone for listening. We also would like to thank our Patreon supporters. We would like to thank. I'm gonna have you read it this week.
Okay, I can do that. So our Patreon supporters are Hayden H, Darth Ace 1, Liam M, Chris S, Kevin L, Devin M, Drew P, Zach N, Fenrir 526, Maya M, and Maka T.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being part of our Patreon. If you would like to join a Patreon, it's over at patreon.com, and our name is at Star Wars Stuff Podcast 2187. So check us out. We have some exclusive and great content on there, including some Bad Batch commentaries coming your way soon. And then also we have Clone Wars commentaries that we're currently doing, which is a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. You can also find us on Instagram at Star Wars Stuff Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Stuff Pod. You can find us on Threads, Star Wars Stuff Podcast, TikTok, search Star Wars Stuff Podcast. We also have an email, Star Wars Stuff Podcast at gmail.com. And then you can find us on Facebook, Star Wars Stuff Group, and Star Wars Stuff Podcast page. We're also on Twitch, Star Wars Stuff Gaming. Tune in tonight. Because tonight we have a exclusive interview with Legion Sabers that Hunter Smoke and I will be a part of. So we're super excited for that. And then this Saturday we have the wonderful opportunity of interviewing the great Vanessa Marshall, who played Harrison Dula in Star Wars Rebels. She also voiced her again in Squadrons, and then the Bad Batch season 1. So we're excited for that. So check out our live stream on all podcast streaming platforms. Yeah, super exciting things. Is there anything you would like to leave the audience with?
Max Rebo only has 2 legs.
All right, that's it. May the Force be with you.
Away!